Whoa, hi. Hi,
Hi.
that finally worked.
I know. I kept trying to press the view button and it kept going to my back camera.
That's fine. I saw everything about Nani and
Yeah.
you're cute and Cap not looking good. Hi.
Hi. How are you? Wow,
I'm
you
good.
have
I
a
sat in my
space.
lockdown space just for just for you.
That is so cool. I love how you have all this green stuff happening.
Yeah, I'm lucky. We have an outdoors and indoors. As soon as I realized that this lockdown was going to be a real thing, I just ran away and came home.
To Delhi. Yeah, I mean, good idea. If I had like a, bungalow to run to, I totally would have.
We call them house over here.
Is it sure? Is it nice being back with family?
Yeah, it's kind of great because I think what's interesting is like I've kind of not lived at home since I've been 17, so it's really nice to kind of come back and have this time, and also like nobody else is doing anything, so there's no FOMO, right? Like it's totally cool to like hang out with your parents.
Yeah, yeah.
Love
You're not
missing
like
out
my
on.
friends are hanging out, people are partying, everyone's on a trip.
Yeah,
There's
so
none of
like
that.
there's no problem. It's great. We're watching like we watched Crazy Stupid Love last night. It's been that
It's
kind
a
of.
very nice
Yeah.
movie.
No, it's
I
not. It's a pretty
no,
bad film, but it
I
was
like
fun.
the first half. I think first half or second half. It's the one where he's being trained. I really like that part.
Yeah, it's like basically like it's a bad Hindi movie, but
Okay, that's
it's a
too. I'd say a
well-made
bad
bad Hindi
English
movie.
movie. Bad Hindi movie. Do you know what bad Hindi movies are? They're like really
Do I
bad.
know what bad Hindi movies are? Yes.
They're really, really bad.
Yeah, I've been trying to get into a bad Hindi movie for a long time.
I mean, I think I'd actually, we had this phase where we would at home just watching like bad Bollywood films because we're like, let's just see,
It's a good
good.
hate watch.
Yeah, but like good bad ones. Like for me, good bad ones would have been like zero. Like it was so entertaining. I could watch it again because it was so bad but so entertaining. Also,
I
I
think so.
love Shahrukh.
Yeah, I think like I still haven't gotten in on that program because it still keeps making me question my life choices and I feel bad about myself. So I'm not at that point where I'm still like ready to laugh at Bollywood like that yet because I mean essentially laughing at myself. But it
The only
happens on
one
the
I
inside.
couldn't laugh was when I saw the pirate film. Just couldn't laugh. It it was really hard to sit through it.
Hugs.
Yes, that one.
Yeah. I didn't see any of them. I'm telling you, I can't bring myself to
You
watch them.
can't get yourself to do it. No,
No.
interesting.
Do you know
But
any other language other than
mm,
English and Hindi?
Punjabi. I
I know
saw a
Punjabi.
Punjabi film last night.
Oh, how was that?
Yeah, it's my first Punjabi film. Very interesting. It
Yeah.
had Diljit in it. I still don't know what the name means in Punjab. Like I know what it means, but I can't say it. It just means bachelor.
What? Ranjit.
No,
No?
Shada.
Oh,
I don't know, something weird. SHA Shada. I don't know.
I
It's a
don't know
Punjabi
either.
word for like a man who's not married, like a
But
bachelor.
I did see I haven't yet seen a full Punjabi film, but I did see a film, a clip of a film which gave me the greatest dialogue of all time, which was Sada Kutta Kutta Te Tuada Kutta Tommy. And I was just like, this is just, this is gold. This is it. So I've been
That's
saying that
actually
a
a
lot
really
to
good
people.
one.
Yeah, it is a good. Shada. Okay, Shada. Okay. Someone do it.
Shada.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the film. Very interesting. Entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah. About a Punjabi player.
Yeah, but the chick is all like feminist and she's like, women need men like fish need bicycle. I'm like, whoa,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
We're having that
Does she
conversation.
drive a tractor? That's the usual Punjabi chick
No,
stereotype.
she's a wedding planner.
Oh,
And she's like, I'm
what?
not going to get married because I want to ghar jamai. And she can't cook. She likes to drink. It's very interesting.
And then what happens at the end though?
He has imaginations where he's beating her up because he has this logic where if he hits her, then that she has a good excuse to go to her parents' house all the time without pissing off the mother-in-law. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to creeps then. That seems like a good segue.
It was very interesting.
Wow.
I love the silence there.
I just didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put this. Headphone use karo. Latency hai. All right, you are talking amongst ourselves. I think they want us to talk to them a little bit. Hey, so cool. What are we going to talk about? Hello
Um,
there. Shadda pronounced Charha. I'll
huh,
marry one of you.
Chalha. It's weirdly like I'll marry on of you.
I think he means he's going to marry one of us.
Oh.
Cool.
I just pictured him like marrying on top of us.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a good sign.
We'll fight it out. We'll fight it out on this track.
No, no, you can have him.
I think
I'm
anyone
feeling
can
very
have him right now.
jealous
No one can
today.
go anywhere.
We should have hung out when you were in Bombay. I feel like I would have laughed a lot.
You probably would have, but I mean, we can. Oh wow, there's a spider on me. Wait, I don't know. What's it looking like over there? When can I come back home?
Not for a while. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. No
I
one
haven't
getting married.
called
No one
Modi
getting
to
married
find
on
out
anyone in
yet.
that case.
I'm trying to play cool, not calling him every day. So yeah, I have no idea. Everyone says it's going to get extended, but who knows? I don't think you're going to be coming back anytime soon.
That's fine, actually.
I mean, look at what you have there. Why would you want to be here?
Yeah, it's pretty nice actually. A leaf just fell on me.
Oh
Yeah, there's a lot of
wow,
yeah. No complaints.
that's so cool. I'm so jealous because that's the kind of place I need to hula hoop. I could just go crazy over there.
Yeah, you would go crazy. Too bad. I don't know. Did you see? Yeah, leaves are fucking falling on me. It's amazing.
Don't come back.
Yeah, I feel like a giraffe is going to like show up. Like anytime, like when the whole like animals are returning to like.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I'm surprised you don't have peacocks yet.
I did hear a peacock the other day actually. Yeah,
Oh, you
so I
did?
think they are kind of coming back. Yeah, nah, it's just squirrels and birds. But it's
I
kind of
think it's
interesting
really like
because
being back home because like a lot of people who haven't lived at home for a while find it really hard to like adjust back at home again.
yeah, but this is not like home life, right? Like this is not like regular life for anyone. So I feel like we're all kind of like trying to act normal. Like I'm being like asked to like turn in work. I'm functioning at like 50% at my usual efficiency because I don't think any of us are kind of like realizing that it's actually really it's really atypical what's happening to us, and
Yeah.
we're just kind of like we're talking about being bored or we're talking about having to do extra work to cook and clean, but like emotionally you're not used to your same like stimulus, right? Like you're used to going out and meeting people and that makes you who you are even inside your house. So
Yeah.
I feel like
Or
that's
even
just
in real
something
life, I'm not a very like, I don't like going out as much, but I always have friends over or like, something's happening. I never realized how much I have like, I interact with people like close to me till this lockdown because I usually
yeah.
like prefer being at home, but I'm never really alone as such. Like this is the first time that I don't have anyone coming over, nothing's happening.
I need to go out. Like I still need to interact with people because I'm pretty social that way. So it's not about like I don't need to go to a party. I don't need to go to like a crowded bar or something. But like for me to like I need regular life, to happen. Like I'm trying to write and I'm like, how the fuck do I write about life if I'm not like living it?
Living.
Or,
Oh, you've
I have
lived
a
so many
story about
years, you could write about that.
huh?
You could write about all the years you did live.
I have that. I'm done, man. My stories are all out there now. Every day I go out there, I sit in this garden, I tell some story about my life. But I'm kind of running out. I'm bringing my dad into my videos because I need something to talk about.
Oh, and your lockdown girl, yeah.
Mm-hmm. How is your hair straight and long? Whose hair is straight and long?
Yours?
Mine is straight and yours is long, so I'm not sure which one she's talking about.
What about like in terms of like, is that why you're doing lockdown girl? Because it's all content that's like readily available every day for you, like new things keep happening while you're on lockdown.
I just kind of started doing it because what kind of happened was that so what the way this started was I had a really bad wisdom tooth infection and my whole mouth was swollen. And when I came back, and I was really glad I came back because I got it treated, but I was still like doing my Insta stories and my usual shit. And I got a lot of messages from people saying that I should not be showing people my face right now because it doesn't look so good.
What?
Yeah. And that really pissed me off because I was like, are you serious? Like, that's as good as telling me that I shouldn't go out, on a
Yeah.
day that I'm not looking as good as you want me to look. So
Yeah.
on like this absolute like not really a whim, but I went on some kind of tirade and I decided to make this pledge that I'm not going to wear any makeup for these 21 days. And I enjoy makeup. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have like any issues with people who want to wear it, or
Yeah.
like I mean, I'm aware that this is not what I actually look like. But I thought it would be an interesting like experience to like put yourself out there as you are. And then in the whole thing of doing that, I realized like so many people are uncomfortable with it. Like so many men are uncomfortable with girls not looking like their prettiest or the way they think that like they're
Like
supposed to
dolled
look.
up and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of just started doing these videos just to because there's so much stuff like that's out there that um I don't know. I mean, this just made me start thinking about the things that we succumb to without even realizing it, like looking good for a video, or anything. Like I mean, some of the stuff I talked about was like girls making the first move, or like the expectation that we can't or shouldn't. So all that whole that comment of like don't like show your face like this just started this thing off in my head, and I decided to do it. And then everyone was giving themselves these challenges of 21 days of baking different kinds of banana bread and doing a push-up and this and that. So I was like, let me try and do something that scares me. So that's what I did.
So
It's
did
tough.
you?
So I,
You started off with like? Were you putting up a lot of like no filter, sort of no makeup photos before the lockdown?
No, because the thing is that I don't really document my life as is. Like I usually just, use social media for my work and things like that. So my photographs usually always have makeup because
Yeah.
my work requires me to
Yeah.
be like that. I'm not like actually like a YouTuber or an Instagrammer. Like I'm an actor who just happened to get a bit of an Instagram following.
Yeah.
So whatever I share usually has me looking differently. But eventually, I began to use it as a way to just express my personality because that's something that people were responding to, and then that's so. Let's see what happens. I may have got a podcast deal, so that's fun.
Oh, that's nice. You
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to do podcasts.
I don't know. I talk so much. I feel like I may as well get paid for it. That's
That's even better, right? Why not?
yeah.
So where did I remember I saw that video of yours where you talked about creeps. I was so
Yeah.
interested in
And we
knowing
just
how
have we
that
have a
happened.
creep over here because this guy just said you're a dirty girl, you're a characterless girl. We have creeps in the house. This is amazing.
Yes, I think someone said, "How could you be wearing what you're wearing? Are you characterless?"
Oh my god! I'm gonna make sure I have cleavage on for this video.
Yeah, and I was like, but she doesn't even have her tits showing. Like, how is this characterless?
I mean, come on, man, shoulders. What kind of good girl?
Oh,
What kind of girl puts her shoulders out there?
elbows.
Yeah, and I realized like the creeps are endless because once like randomly I was talking and I just went like that, and then I found myself tagged in a picture where someone has screenshotted me on
They have
something called
Instagram
armpit page.
pages.
Armpit page.
There
I
are
was
so many armpit pages. You could have like videos where you're doing stuff and they take close-ups of your armpit.
no, and then suddenly like I'm all over these armpit pages, and honestly, like I think if you're into armpits, like no problem, but like be into whatever you want. But like I think it's a little odd that like if someone hasn't authorized you to like use a picture for like this sexual consumption, like it's a little creepy to put it out there like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Is that how the creep thing started? Like, what made you want to talk about creeps? Were they leaving comments and stuff?
I mean, they're part of my everyday life now. I can't get away from them. They're just everywhere. Like before, it was just like when you walked out onto the street. Now, like once you make your profile public, like they're just everywhere. And now that I was like out there talking, the creeps were getting pissed off because they were just like, "We don't want to hear you talk," you know.
Yes,
So
it's when you have a voice.
yeah,
You don't put makeup and you have a voice? What the fuck?
no, you're not a good creeps girl.
What do you think you are, man?
Yeah, like a person, yeah, I just find that they don't I think like ever since I began to call the creeps out, like they definitely stopped like kind of hanging out on my page a little bit, and I started highlighting them. I made a highlight on my page called Insta Creeps where I only put creeps. Like I've dedicated a whole highlight to them.
That's a
um,
really good idea.
yeah, and I really think it's important that women do this because like I know when Me Too happened and when you put out your stories, like it really, I mean, I know that like it feels like we've backtracked a little bit, but the truth is that even if the psychopaths are out there, like the women have so much more awareness,
Yeah.
And the truth is that shame is the only weapon we have against the creeps, you know.
And more than I
So
think, like, I mean, I would do it to. I try and have a conversation with people first. I mean, I used to put out things earlier, and then I just thought if I can, like, shaming them may not always change their mind. But trolls, I always like. I don't think there's any point in like trying to talk to trolls. But if it's a normal person who I think may understand, I try to talk about it. But I
yeah,
think the whole publicly putting them out there on highlights helps girls that have to put up with a lot of this stuff
that's
because
really
they
what
don't know
it's
what
about.
to do.
Yeah,
Watching
and
how you respond
that was my
really sort of
yeah.
helps them respond better.
Yeah, and I mean, like, because the first time that this happens and, you kind of become, like, you open yourself out to this, it's really shocking. Like, I remember being really shocked and really speechless when, like, I was like, why would someone talk to me this way? Why would you talk to anyone this way? And that's what happens if you're walking on the street and someone leers at you. Like, what happens to a woman is, like, it's just absolute shock, right? The first time that you
Yeah.
actually go through it. The first time you get, like, a really crazy message, and now we're kind of used to it, but
Every now and
that's
then
what
when you're not
happens.
expecting it,
You just
it's
don't know
still
what
a
to do.
shock.
Yeah, and you just don't know what to do. So I think it's kind of important that people kind of know that you can retaliate in some way, and you're doing the world a service and like a favor by putting this out there in some way. We have a lot of creeps on this chat, man. Like they're new.
Yeah. Probably
Yeah,
looking for a lot
guest
of
of honors.
highlights.
Yeah, guest of honors, man. Front
Do
row. We kept a whole row reserved for you.
Fake feminist. Oh, that's my favorite. I really want to know what a real feminist is, given that now I know what a fake feminist is.
Yeah. What do you think a real feminist is?
Probably like Mother Teresa. I don't know. I think that is the only definition of a feminist for most people. Women that sacrifice their lives to help other people.
That's true. That's true.
And porn is not included in helping other people.
Yeah.
Do you still get bothered by the creeps? Like I know
Yeah, I do.
you do.
I get bothered by their existence. Like, I don't get so bothered by, I mean, you become immune to everything. And I don't want to say I get bothered by them because I don't want them to think that, like, but that's what a creep wants, right? A creep just wants, what could a creep possibly want to piss you off for? Like, the only thing that they get out of this act is bothering you, right? And something that I said in that video is what I realized, that people that are in pain always want to put other people in pain. People who are in discomfort want to create discomfort. Whatever you are is what you're going to try and create in another person. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So does it bother me? Like, do I take it personally anymore? No. But does it bother me that they're out there and that they're doing this to other people? For sure. I mean, for sure it bothers me, which is why I try and do something about it.
Do you think they're like really miserable? Like I think that's how bullying works as well, right? Like people who do these things are so absolutely miserable in their lives that they feel the need to like dedicate. I mean, I think these are like the creeps and like the haters are actually the real fans. They're like like they love you so much that regardless of what you're doing, they will hate with all their dedication and they will leave that shitty comment no matter what because they're that dedicated. But
I think it's whatever is going on in you is what you're going to try and project onto another person, honestly. So
it's like you do that to make yourself feel better because you're feeling so shit that you want to put someone else down and feel better.
Yeah. Someone just said, calm down. There are people who appreciate you. Okay, we appreciate you too. Thank you for appreciating us. Don't think that we're trying to just put other people down. Which actually brings me to another point, that very often people are just trying to be creepy because they want attention.
Yeah.
Because they know that it riles you up.
And then they get attention, like, when people reply or your like fans stand up for you, or when you tag them in your stories and stuff. I think a lot of times they're just like, well, I got what I wanted because they want attention. And it's all troll accounts, like they're just
Janice is here! Sorry. Yeah, it is all troll accounts. Sorry, I just had to say that. My friend Janice is here.
Oh, your friend is here?
Hello, sexy mamas. Yeah. Do you know my friend Janice Sequoia? She's also a content creator, overall feminist. She's a good feminist and a real feminist too.
Really? She like Mother Teresa?
Janice, do you think you're like Mother Teresa? Well, she's Catholic. That helps.
Well, she's halfway there. Yeah. What was I saying? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people just, the troll accounts, like they'll shut them because they've got what they wanted, or they'll make another one when you report it or block it. Um,
I mean, honestly, I think it just goes to show just like how empty their lives are. You have an empty profile picture. You have a meaningless handle instead of your name. You have nothing on your feed. You create accounts just to keep pissing people off because someone blocked you. I think it just shows how empty your life is, you know. So,
True.
yeah.
Did it used to get to you at one point? Like, did you ever wake up and, like, when you put up something and then feel like, fuck, like, why am I even uploading things? Because I'm just going to be hated, or like people are going to say things.
Yeah, but I think that happens when you put anything about yourself out. Like, even when, like, I remember when I turned my profile from private to public, I had that feeling. When I decided to start like presenting myself in a certain way, I had that feeling. When I started putting out my face as it was without like the made up pictures that were taken at proper shoots, I had that feeling. When I sat down and started making videos where I'm actually speaking to camera, because that's not something I actually do. Like, I usually do acting. I had that feeling. So I think every time you step out of your comfort zone in any kind of way, you have that feeling of why am I doing this? Like, there's always resistance. And I think that that's a really good indicator of the fact that you should do it.
Yeah.
Because, if life kind of continues hunky dory and you keep doing the things that you know how to do and that you're good at doing, you're never going to get better at anything, honestly. So, at the cost of like, presenting yourself in a certain way, or maybe, having people like not be a little disappointed in what you're putting out. I mean, like today I looked at after my videos, I think 5,000 new people followed me, but 4,000 unfollowed me also, you know.
Yeah, that happens to me all
And
the time.
yeah, and it's like it's not such a big deal, but like, for us often these numbers mean income and mean work. So, but the way I see it is the more you present yourself like more authentically and more honestly, you're just creating your audience of the
Yeah.
work that you actually want to do.
Yeah.
So, for me, like, you push yourself a little bit like further, like it's scary, but like you just got better at something, so it's fine.
Yeah, I think the more like a blank slate you remain, the more like followers you get, because you're not really limiting or like talking about things that sort of define you as a person. Whereas like I really struggle with this all the time, but for me it's really important to like be true to myself as well. Like, if there are certain things that I believe in, I'm going to be vocal about it. I can't just like not do it because I'd be worried that like you'll lose followers or you won't gain them if you're too like opinionated. Whereas I
Yeah.
think that, like, I remember there being a time like a few years ago when it used to get to me as well, because when you look at like how many you lose and how many you get, you almost wonder like, am I doing something wrong? But
Yeah.
eventually you realize that good riddance, because you're kind of getting the kind of people that you would want
Yeah.
from.
And I think, like, I kind of think about this word influence quite a bit, right? Like, if you're going to influence, what are you influencing? I have absolutely no judgment if someone wants to influence people to how to contour their makeup properly, because if that's your job and that's what you're passionate about, that's absolutely fine. You know,
Yeah.
um, it's just really what your jam is. Like, if for you, it's important to talk about certain things, it'll eventually lead you to the right place because you'll be working with people who see you as that. It's kind of
Yeah.
like if I may have X amount of following, but if a clothing brand, right, like wants to have me come and like endorse something, and they look at my numbers, it's still 70% men. That means that like only 30% of the women in my following are actually going to be influenced to buy that brand.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is just normal logistics. But in the same way, when your following becomes a little more true to who you are, you're going to actually have a real influence if you want to have one, or a
Yeah.
good one. You know, I'm
You
okay
have
with that.
more men
I'm okay with
followers?
people influencing people to wear lipstick if that's what they believe is right. You know, I don't have a problem with it as
Yeah,
long as they
sure.
show what they look like otherwise as well. You
Yeah,
know,
I think the problem becomes when like you can't like see the real you at all, like you have to wake up and put on makeup before you go out, because then you're living in a bubble where you don't like the way you look at all. I mean, there's a very thin line between loving makeup because you can play around
yeah.
with different sorts of looks, and just not liking the way your skin is.
Yeah, and I think the idea of makeup wasn't to like hide who you are. It was just
Yeah.
about like empowering yourself to like, feel a little bolder, feel a little stronger that day. There's a difference in your energy the day you wear red lipstick versus the day you wear a pink lipstick. It's
Yeah, and
just
it's
about
like
creating a
different
feel.
moods and different, like, I think it's just like depending on what you feel like that day. Like red has like a completely different vibe than like
Yeah,
a beige or a nude would.
yeah. I look like shit with red lipstick, sadly. Like,
There's no
it's
such
like
thing.
no, really, it's like one of the
That is
biggest
so
regrets of my life.
subjective.
I look like absolute shit with red lipstick. I don't want it to be
That,
like that.
I
So
remember you once put up a photo in red lipstick, didn't you? No? Did you talk about red lips or something once?
I have only ever discussed red lips in the context of the fact that I can't pull them off.
Really? I remember seeing something or reading something. I'm going to find it after this chat and send it to you.
Thanks, man. Remind me never to say anything that can be held against me.
Do you have a lot? Do you have more men that follow you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played this one character on a show called What the Folks, where the character that I played, people seem to think that that's exactly who I am, and everyone wants to marry her. So
Really?
yeah, and I'm like, if you meet me, you're going to be grossly disappointed. But yeah, so I think I get like a marriage proposal for that character. Her name is Anita.
Wow.
Like every week, I get a marriage proposal for Anita, and they don't even like. It's like they're saying, "Isha, I want to marry Anita." I'm like, cool. See you in season 4. I don't know.
Sure, that wouldn't, yeah. Do you get a lot of people contacting you for your characters and stuff? Do you get like a
Yeah.
lot of hate as well for the characters?
No, I can't say I've ever had that. Thankfully, and interestingly enough, like I think like when my career really started to take off, like when like web shows and OTT stuff started to kind of happen, and I was getting. It's really kind of interesting because when I first went to Bombay, I was always told that I seemed like too strong for a character, and like they're like, oh, you seem like you might like overpower the hero. So even if I would make it like
You
up to
could
a
be
point,
the hero.
well now, but even if I would make it to a point in an audition, like eventually it was like, nah, she seems too strong. Once I was told you seem too smart, and I was like, where does it say in the character brief that the girl is supposed to be dumb? you know
That's
if she
understood.
is meant to be dumb, that's cool. I understand that I don't see that I'm seeming too smart if she was meant to be dumb. But where does it say that she was meant to be dumb? So what happened with the web shows is because there was a little more of a smaller audience and a more of like an intelligent audience, like that could conceive of the idea of a woman being that way. So that's when it began to sort of happen. So strangely, I've always get cast for that. I really want to play a dumb girl now, though. I want to tell
Yeah.
myself that I can do it. Yeah, I really want to play a bimbo. That's my.
I think usually half the time, like even with auditions, like when I'm auditioning for stuff, it's sort of like an understood thing. Like you don't like they don't even tell you, but it's just understood that the girl is like bubbly, and if she's
Yeah,
happy in life, she's bubbly. And
yeah,
usually just stupid. Unless they're saying she's smart, she's just stupid. Like she's not
yeah.
thinking about
That's the
things.
base level.
Yeah.
To a large extent, I feel like though I think Kareena Kapoor did a really good job with like Jab We Met, like her character Geet, it officially screwed up auditions for every girl in Bombay after
Yeah.
that. That's all
I
anyone
think
ever
it was
wanted.
because she also did Pooh before that, so it was Pooh and Jumpy Man. I can't
Yeah.
tell you how often I go for audition. They're like, she's like Pooh. I'm like, what is like Pooh? Like that cannot be
Oh, is that even
that
still like
smart.
preference anymore?
Yeah, they want like either. I always get either Kareena Kapoor or Katrina Kaif. Like it's two categories.
What is the Katrina Kaif category? What's
It's
the
a really
character that she's played?
pretty,
Huh?
like usually the Katrina Kaif thing that I get told like in descriptions is that she's just a really pretty girl who is just really pure. I'm like, what is pure? Can we go back 10 steps and tell me what is pure?
I have no
It's
idea, man.
really pure.
I
Like,
can't remember the last time I was pure about anything, so I don't know.
even for college girl characters, they're like, she's pretty and she's very pure. I just don't like
Oh, she's fun loving.
fun loving. Yeah, I
She's
really
fun
don't know
loving.
how is that a personality in general? Like,
Jesus,
and
because there are people who don't like fun. So there's fun loving.
if she's fun loving, I swear she'll never ask questions. She'll never have like serious debates or conversations or get sad because she's fun loving.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
She's auditioned. Yay!
Yeah,
Half the time I'm giving auditions and I feel like I'm supposed to like snort cocaine or something, and then it's just so full
there's
of
also
energy.
she's a breath of fresh air. Yeah.
Wow, we should do like audition
But you know,
together.
we shouldn't be. Yeah, we should do a live where we do different auditions.
Yeah,
But
that
I
would
think
be
I think things are getting a little bit better. You know, I think
definitely much better.
yeah, there's a lot of faux feminism that's happening on the shows where they're like, you know, we are flawed characters that accept themselves as they are, and there's all of that.
Yeah, or like
But at
angry
least like
feminists.
yeah, but there's still like an attempt, I think, for things to get better. You know.
I think it helped because even like in terms of like a lot of Netflix shows that I watch, Indian or not, like I watched Unbelievable. I don't know if you've seen it. It's about
No.
two cops. Brilliant show. But there's so much more content out there with women as leads, which really helps for, you know, because it like if things are being written by women, firstly, because I think we're always like projected by men. Like if your writers are men, then obviously girl characters are usually just naggy because that's how men would, you know, see them.
Yeah.
But now like there's just this variety of content that's happening, and I think like over time we will probably start happening more and more in India as well. Just needs like more women producers, more women writers.
Yeah. And I think it's pretty cyclical in the sense that I think like the more the audience starts to accept it, like the writers, like I'm a writer, so I see this all the time as well. That like sometimes you're writing something and you're being told that like the audience just will not be able to accept this.
Yeah.
Like I see producers and directors who want to write like different female characters, but they're like, no, we don't have like the budget for this. We can't spend this much
Not
money.
commercial enough, and
Yeah, we can't spend this much money on making a film on an idea that might fail. So the more that the audience accepts like a woman being presented differently, I think then like the stories also start to change. Yeah. My friend Manish Anand just said you're too hot. You're too hot, Manish Anand. We do this. We go into each other's lives and we make sure we piss each other off.
You're lucky you have friends who do that.
Oh yeah, because I'm that friend. I will make sure that I show up. I will make sure that I show up and say things like, say my name, please. Say my name. Say my name. Somebody's gonna write it any second now. Say my name.
So many people have actually said say my name, and we've just been like busy chatting.
Oh yeah, we should talk to the
Lucky
people that
to see
say
you both.
what's happening.
I wanted to ask one more thing. Obviously, this one's like really predictable.
Say my name, Anirudh.
Say my
Anirudh.
name. There it is. I was actually waiting for that.
Say my name, my friend Karishma Jalani is here to say my name.
There's another one. There's
something about Rabindranath Tagore. Oh wow.
Yeah, I saw that. Go on. I'll let you take that.
Once upon a time in Bengal. I don't know.
That's something for sure.
Yeah. Oh, wow, I started a trend.
Say my name.
Say my name. Say my name. Yeah,
Wow.
wow.
I just need to say names instead of like
created a few monsters.
Just like names.
I say Isha. I am from West Bengal.
Who's Karishma?
Karishma is my friend. Karishma is one of my best friends. See, I'm saying my friends do this kind of shit. They show up to kind of, they show up to make me feel like conscious about what I'm going to say because now I know that they're there.
How sweet. I don't know who's Chops you or Chops me. I just realized we do have the same last name.
You know, I've never thought about that.
But no one calls me Chops, so that must be
Everyone calls me Chops.
So that's for you.
What are you called? What do people?
They just call me Chopra. I get called Sal a lot.
Sorry, I have my phone call. I get Chops, I get Chopra, I get Janice calls me Chop Sui.
I have some really close friends who irritate me with like Chopu, and I hate it.
Oh, that sucks. I used to get called Chopri in school.
That's not fun.
No, it's not fun. And my general clan refer to themselves as Chopre.
Chopre. That sounds wrong.
We're very Punjabi. We're very, very Punjabi. Wow. You should say things like Chopre aa gaye.
See, someone finally asked, did something happen?
Isha, what happened to your face a few days ago? It was swollen. It was swollen, man.
I'm so glad you spoke about it, you know. Because what? But also,
Yeah.
what about people who just have chubby faces or like big faces? They're never going to unswell it. Like it's so terrible that they have to put up with this shit.
Oh my god, can I just be in the life like this now? Like, hmm, don't talk like that. It's
But like a
amazing.
great
My
thing.
yeah, wow. Guys, shit happens.
And it's so
People have
petty.
infections, their faces swell up. And sometimes
Yeah,
nothing happens and their faces still swell up.
this is nothing. I met someone downstairs. I was picking up like some packages that had come for me, and I went downstairs to like pick it up. And this person was just like, "Oh my god, quarantine has really like done this to your face, right?" I was like, "Wait, what?" And he was like, "Well, I can see that you haven't been threading or like waxing or doing your upper lip. You look like a mess." And I was like, thanks. Like this person has like a massive beard and like a unibrow, but you have the right to tell me that quarantine has really done this to my face. I was just like, how entitled do you have to be to look at women who are not waxing or shaving and be like, wow, quarantine, you
Yeah.
look like shit.
But I have to admit, I did have a tough time with that.
Really?
So yeah, because I used to be like a hairy kid, so I have like a lot of like childhood trauma being associated with that. So I had decided to let everything grow out for as long as I could, and then I was like, I just can't, and then I caved. So even when I
And
heard
that's fine,
quarantine
you
was
know? Like
coming,
it, I
huh?
mean, if you like, you don't like, I get a monobrow and I make sure I remove my monobrow because my mom didn't let me do my eyebrows till I was 18. So, like, I just hated my monobrows growing
Yeah,
up. But when it comes to like upper lip and shit, like, there are days when I don't want to do it and days when I can't even look at myself with it. It just sucks when
yeah,
other people want to point it out and be like, shit, what's wrong with your face? That's what
yeah.
gets to
I
me.
mean,
It makes me want to
I
return
had
people.
I had a unibrow, and my grandmother used to do this when she used to talk to me. Like she'd be like, now she looks okay.
Oh my god, that's so horrible. I can see where the
And I
trauma
have to
comes from.
Yeah. And I used to get like singled out, like when I was in like class six, and they would say boys and girls on one side. The boys would tell me, "You come to our side." So yeah, shit like that happened. It's hard to break out of things like that. Like it's not even.
No,
It's
yeah,
very
that's
personal. Yeah. It's so the first thing
yeah.
that I did when quarantine happened, I went and ordered wheat wax strips because I was like, even though I ain't getting any, like I should be kept clean. But I'm happy to say I've only used it once.
Nice.
So that was a bit of an achievement for me.
As long as you're balancing it out.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
I'm
Punjabi
honestly
hair can be
using
very
this.
stubborn. As stubborn as Punjabi women.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been trying to use this time to kind of get over vanity as much as I can because I was like, let's try and get comfortable with like how you are, just as you are. And then when you get out there, and I think that's the biggest thing. It's not so much about how people make us feel. It's just kind of like about how we feel about ourselves. It's the same thing as creeps, right? They project how they feel onto you. So if
Yeah.
you're feeling like insecure about how you look one day, you're going to project that to a person and they're going to give you a statement like that.
I think it's also
I
like the
think that's
social
it.
expectation of how you're supposed to look. Like you're not supposed to have hair coming out of places because we
Yeah.
don't have models in like like magazines where chicks look like that. Like you're
No.
just supposed to be hairless like you're 12
Yeah.
at all times.
Yeah. Sadly, I wasn't jealous at 12, but yeah.
Me neither. I had a lot of hair everywhere. I'm just
Your hair has grown
it's a
really long from what I remember, from what
Punjabi
I've
thing,
seen.
I think. Do
How
you
has
see
your hair grown so long so fast, though?
mine? Oh, I
Yeah.
had an interview before this. This isn't real. Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've
I
been
had
trying to
an
figure this
interview
out.
with a photographer. So and then right after that, I jumped onto this.
Ah, okay. I
Yeah.
was sitting and thinking about that. I was like, how did she do
No, that would be like magic. I am growing it out though right now.
that? Okay, so am I. I used to have hair really. I used to have hair till my butt till like
Really?
2 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Never
I've
doing it
never
again.
had long hair. I don't have the patience to grow it.
I'm never doing it again, honestly.
No.
No, I think cutting my hair actually changed my personality in such a. It was so interesting. Like suddenly, I just became so like much less precious about myself. It just, I don't know, it did it. It's that whole like, that Indian hair and whatever. Like, for me, like I just became like lighter. Like,
Wrong.
just of course, like physically, you're just cutting off some weight, but I just started feeling like different after that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, playing a different character almost, like in your own narrative. You know.
It changed how you thought about yourself as well, like how you portray yourself.
Yeah, totally. Because for me, like that whole like it had become like a beauty symbol for myself, you know. Because like I always had this like long beautiful hair, and it was something that I began to identify with. It became a part of my personality, and it's like it's just fucking hair, you know. So when I cut it off, yeah, like I really felt like I was cutting off like a lot of those like thoughts also kind of went with me.
A lot of people say that, even people who like shave off their heads and stuff, they feel like, you're just letting go of a
Yeah,
lot of stigmas attached to it, a lot of
yeah.
stereotypes that you think hair makes you beautiful.
That I still don't have the guts to do,
I don't
but
have the guts. I'd do it for a character. Like if I was acting, I'd go bald for it.
yeah.
But I don't think I could do it off camera. Like I would want to make
No.
something out of it.
Maybe one day we meet and we like get drunk and shave each other's heads,
Oh
you
my
know.
god! Can we at
Yeah.
least make a video out of it?
At least. I think we better get a brand to endorse it or something. Because
Yeah,
I
exactly.
ain't doing that shit if I'm not getting paid for it.
Exactly. I'm gonna ask you one last question. Yeah, I was asking earlier. Do you want to say something to either your creeps or to the women that have to put up with creeps, or to both?
I think so. Here's what I want to say. It's really unfortunate that we got the creeps in the first place. Like we did nothing to deserve this. But if we continue to do nothing, then we continue to deserve it. So I think it's kind of important as it's not our fault that we found ourselves here, but it is our fault if we continue to stay here. So I think that we should do whatever we can in our power to like just let the creeps know that all they are is a stupid little slimy creep. So whatever you can do, like put them in their place, call them out to whatever extent you can. It's uncomfortable and it's difficult and you just want to get away at that moment. But I think it's that thing, right? On the other side of fear, there's freedom. So the only way to rid yourself of them is to call them out for who they are. But I've made that into a smaller sentence. I'll work on it.
No, that's very nice. That's a good way to look at it. It's kind of like, even though it's unfair, you kind of have a sense of responsibility towards it.
Well, I think it happened to us for that reason, right? Like, as in for us, the reason that you and I can walk around with like a sleeveless top or have cleavage or wear shorts or like raise our arms, whatever it might be, someone did it for us many
Yeah.
generations ago.
Someone fought our fight, which is why
Yeah.
we have the privileges we
Yeah.
do.
So I think that to whatever extent like we can, we need to keep doing that because it worked out for us because someone did it for us. Like women weren't allowed to vote. Women weren't
Yeah.
allowed to work. Women weren't allowed to do so many of the things that we do
Not
that we
have
take for
like
granted.
ATMs, like we didn't have bank accounts and we weren't voting
Yeah.
or doing anything.
Yeah. Someone says you only address creeps. There are many people who wrote good things about you. Yes, thank you. Again, we appreciate everyone who says good things about us, but you're on our side. You're on our team.
Yeah, you can't just keep appreciating people on your team.
Yeah. So yeah, we do appreciate you, but you're on our team. So like you don't have to always like we're here together. Thank you for appreciating us. But yeah, I think it's important as women that you continue to keep fighting the good fight as much as you can, and we need to do that for the people that are coming next. You know, build a better world. Bloody
Yeah.
slut.
My favorite is Randy. I just love it when people.
It's a
are like,
great word, man. I think it's got some
I
power
know.
to it.
I said that yesterday as well. I don't know. It's got like a ring to it. Randy.
It's a
Just
good
got a ring
word.
to it.
It's a good word. I'm gonna be somewhere with. There's no light here. Yeah, I think it's a good word. I think it's really powerful, and I think we should all own our inner Randis, no? Like we should
Please, I love that.
bring it back. We should bring.
Oh
We should
my
bring it back.
god!
Yeah, we need to demystify this word and have it mean a good thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alright.
Cool. Tell me when you come back to Bombay.
I guess I'll be back when the lockdown is done. I'm paying a lot of rent for a house that I don't live in, so I'm gonna get to it soon.
We definitely have to actually finally catch up.
Yeah, we do. And I will see you soon with your real hair, and then we can do this once again. Yeah, let me know if you want me to come back. I love talking about creeps and my favorite subject or anything else.
Done. Awesome. Maybe next week whenever you're free.
Yep.
Create
Thank you
some
for
more
having me.
content by then.
Huh?
Create some more content. Let them piss
Oh
you
my
off a
god,
little more.
it's tough, man. I gotta really say, I've got like brand new appreciation and respect for like people who are actually like Instagrammers and YouTubers and like people like you, because it's really fucking hard to like come up with something every day, and it takes up, and it looks all natural and easy and all that, but it takes up so much mind space, you know.
It does, yeah. Can get exhausting.
That every time I get a call,
That's fine.
yeah, it can get exhausting. You suddenly opened your world to so many people. Yeah.
I think that comes with like, you know, with great what is it? Strength comes great responsibility.
Freedom
The
comes with
Spider-Man.
responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that from Spider-Man? I thought it was like I thought it was a political quote.
If we're talking about the same one, I'm pretty sure in Spider-Man, like the grandfather said it, or the grandmother said it before she
No,
like
the
popped it.
Spider-Man. Well, yeah, he did say it, but I don't think the quote was written there in the first place.
Oh.
I can't remember who said it first. But the
That-
Spider-Man quote is "My gift is my curse."
Oh, sure, that too, yeah.
That's an original, like OG Spider-Man quote. My gift is my curse, isn't it always?
Yes.
Hello, Katrina ma'am. I'm a big fan. There's no Katrina ma'am here.
I'm
Let's
so
just
sick
call
of that.
ourselves Katrina and Karina the next time we go out. Let's just...
Yeah. Katrina and Karina. That would be fun.
Give me a great idea. Oh God, this is gonna be my next Halloween costume.
Yeah, I'll join
Yeah.
you.
Which one do you want to be?
Either. I'm not picky.
All right, I'm gonna go. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I have to upload my video right now.
All the best. I will
Thank
probably will do this again whenever we're free.
I'm around. Hey, I got nothing to do. So yeah, find me.
And a
anytime you
great
want.
goddamn backyard. So
Yeah,
yes.
that is true. Give you a new angle next time.
Thanks. Cool. Bye.
See you.
Thank
Bye.
you.